have to ask you how you doing again. Because we here at Candid Conversations aim to shine light on situations that are lesser discussed. And, you know, these conversations might actually stimulate progress and development of solutions to potential problems. Today, we're going to have on the show, I want to say one of my esteemed colleagues. You like the way I break it down in big people talk, don't you? Yes, one of my esteemed colleagues will be joining us shortly. A man by the name of Alexander Supertramp on Facebook. You know him in the hip-hop world as Just Zone. And if you don't know him if you know him by more than that, then you're really close. Let's see here. We're just gonna we're gonna get him to join the live right now. And while we're doing that, we're gonna shout out the Wifeager. How you doing? Let me just tag Mr. Let me tag Zone in here. You know what I mean? Send that. Okay, boom. So yeah. Alright. Approve. Add. We are adding the man himself into the booth. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, go on.
What's up?
Chilling. You know how it is. You know what I mean? We're just here paving the way for you to jump into the conversation.
Word up.
Right on. I guess I should take some time to say this episode of Candid Conversations is brought to you by Mountain Dew Kickstart because I'm drinking it today. But there's a couple of events happening this weekend that I want to talk about before we jump into the conversation.
Get it.
All right, so tomorrow at Monty's Gastropub, that is 547 Ontario Street. At 547 Ontario Street, Patterns is in the building. Bro, you could have came and did the live. You could have did the live today if I had known you were available for it. But yeah. 547.
Hey, you can still do the live. I'll get off. I'll let Pat do it, man. That'd be dope.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Like, let's see what he's saying before you jump off. Let's see if he's down to do the live. And then yeah. But we'll still shoot the breeze until then. So Monty's Gastropub, you're gonna see a lot of acts, a lot of talent. ASI Events is holding an event there. The first and third place winners from live music shows, Rock the Mic Talent Search, Tino and Jacoby are going to be performing. You're going to have B-Packs in the building. Yours truly will be in the building. Just Zone will be in the building. David Jones just jumped in for real things. This is how we do. Hey. So, yeah, check it out. Monty's Gastropub, 547 Ontario Street in St. Catharines. We also have Canada Day weekend. That's happening this coming weekend. Canada Day weekend, we are going to be performing. I say we as Exposed the North. We'll be performing at Big Texas. Big Texas is in Fort Erie.
Jones? What up, yo?
What up, Jones? Fort Erie will be performing at Big Texas. That's on Niagara Street. I will get the address to you as soon as the Wifeager has a moment. What else we got going? July 27th, I have to show you the flyer. July 27th, we have the Recipe single release party. That's happening at Detour. What else? And then August 3rd, live music shows is going to have, what up, fam? What's going on, fam? Live Music Shows is hosting another event at Sam's Tavern in Hamilton. and that will be August 3rd, and I will be performing as well as Chronic Spirit, and I believe Zach Burry might be on the card as well, and Private Name, Private Number, who is going to be performing at Detour on July 27th. 129 Niagara Boulevard, July 1st. The wife is just holding it down. Alright, so there I see him, Alright, so Zone. Let's talk. Let's talk. There's where we can start. How has that Let's Talk campaign, do you think that Let's Talk campaign is actually effective?
I don't even know what that is, so that should tell you something right there.
That should. Okay, basically,
is that a campaign to do with mental health?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I think I've heard about it briefly, but I haven't heard anyone talking about it, so ironically enough, no one's talking about it.
Oh man, it's killer, because that's the thing, and it comes around one time a year, and then after that time of year where they're making the donations, it fizzles out. You don't really hear about it. And like, I don't understand how they can commercialize or capitalize on mental health illnesses without actually effectively addressing them.
Yeah, well, I think, sorry, 1 second. I think that, the people that should be the people that should be talking about mental health issues should be people with mental health issues, right? I mean, obviously we need advocates and we need people to speak on behalf of us, but we also, as a community of people that suffer with mental health illnesses, we need to speak up for ourselves. And I think a lot of times with the stigma around mental health that comes, what up, Zach?
What up, Stott?
I think with the stigma that comes along with mental health issues, it's hard for certain individuals to speak up and to let it be known, like, I'm suffering, I'm going through hard times, I'm not well right now, or whatever,
Yeah.
Just letting it can be really hard sometimes to voice those feelings, you know what I mean?
I hear you, and I find, especially as a man, like, we're expected to be gritty, tough, hard. So, like, if we have a sensitive moment and express that, depending on the situation, like, you could get pulled apart, you know what I mean? And that makes it even harder. That kind of that creates a reciprocal cycle of complications psychologically, where, we shell our emotions until we lash out, and then shell our emotions again.
Yeah, I know, it's tough. We could just speak on, just speaking from personal shit, being a man, being male, being a man, and also being a part of the hip-hop community, mental health is kind of looked at in a lot of ways as a weakness.
Yep.
And certain people perceive mental health issues as a weakness of character, or as a fault in someone's character, or in who they are, and it's not an individual's fault that they're mentally ill. If when you see someone, I hate to use this example, but when you see someone with cancer, you don't go, "Oh, that fucking person with cancer, like, what an idiot!
Oh, damn,
they get cancer."
You're right, and you know what? It's a similar construct. It's something that sticks with you and it can be fatal. You know what I mean? If someone goes through has a mental breakdown, we'll say, in the middle of a situation, and they engage in an altercation with the wrong individual, that could create a fatality just because the person who they engage with didn't understand that they were having a mental break. Or
it's like that's extreme, but we could go to a more likely scenario, which is suicide, which is rampant in young males, and people are ending their lives every day, and people feel as though they have no one to reach out to, and it's hard. Like this Let's Talk movement or whatever, that's like a good idea, but we need more active approaches to what's going on, not these passive, we'll put out we'll put out a status once in a while supporting people with mental health issues. Like, no, if you have a friend that's sick with mental health issues, maybe check up on them once in a while. Say, what's up? How are you doing, man? Are you okay? Like, if you need, like, always express to people that if they need to talk, you're there for them. You know, we got to be there for our community and for our people.
Yeah.
And that's that. And when I say that, I don't mean like a fucking like a small community. I mean like everybody. We got to be there for everybody. You know, if you have someone on your Facebook or whatever that you know, even if they're not your friends, you know, and you see they're going through a rough time, reach out. Try to be someone supportive for them. Try to be a light in the darkness of this world. You know.
Yeah, that's truth right there. And that's the thing. I'm going to challenge everybody to reach out to one person on their Facebook and just see how they're doing. You know what I mean? Just reach out, say what's up. Someone you haven't talked to in a long time. You know what I mean? Because for all you know, that person hasn't talked to you because they're going through something hard, and they don't want to express it because they feel as if it'll be seen as another hindrance to their progression. Real time, yeah.
For sure.
All right, well, let me know what's going on.
Shout out David Jones. Yeah, man, PTSD is real.
It is. That's something.
Like depression is real.
Anxiety
is real.
Anxiety is real. You know what I mean? Like you gotta understand.
That's another thing is like a lot of people will downplay someone else's mental health issues because they think it's not severe or it's not they might not understand someone else's mental health issues, but it's try to be understanding, do the research, and let's come together and help people out. You know, let's help everybody grow and heal these wounds of the past and such. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Yeah, we gotta actually look at, because the way people act now is a byproduct of how they were treated before. So if you take the time to look at that, sometimes when people are escalating, you know what I mean? If you can look at the fact that, you know, they might have gone through some, you know, stressful situations, I just take a step back and say, hey, it's not me they're attacking. It's just the situation they're upset at. And that's what I try to tell people when I get animated, because, you know, it's not you, it's a situation. You know what I mean? I talk to a lot of corporations, and the levels of stress I deal with, trying to explain to them that the way things are going with my device or my product or the service isn't according to the structure of the contract that we're engaged in, and I expect them to conduct themselves according to the structure of the contract, as opposed to just doing as they feel with my service or my product. Now, they already get the money, so they have the upper hand, but, like, I have to stay vigilant. But they have, like, 20, 30, 40, 100,000 people working for them, where it's, like, a handful of people that I'm working with. So, that stress, that difference, it creates a bit of... It can create depression in a sense, because it's like I keep fighting for what I should already have. You know what I mean? That's
like that. That has to do with like I'm not trying to be like dismissive or anything, but like that's kind of off topic. Like, you know, that's like like customer service and shit. That's always gonna be fucked up. You know what I mean?
It's how people treat each other, though. That's what I'm saying, in a sense, like in a broader scope.
Okay, I understand what you're using that as a metaphor for what you're trying to explain.
Yeah. So it's like person to person, we treat each other different than we do person to business. You know what I mean? So like sometimes I'm angry at my phone not working, and I have to call somebody who's on the phone, who answers the phone, and they don't know what my situation is, but all they get is my anger. I'm not looking at them as the problem. I'm just looking to them for a solution. But because they experience that anger, they then shell up, right? They close themselves off from producing a solution because they're trying to defend themselves from an attack. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that goes on both parties, though. You know what I mean? Like it's up to us. It's up to us to not approach people in that manner. To not let the anger drive how we're speaking, how we're communicating. And it would be nice. It would be nice if people on the other end could always know, oh yeah, like he doesn't mean to lash out at me right now. He's going through some shit, but it's hard to gauge that in the moment when someone's just angry at you and they're getting angry with you and they're raising their voice and they're they might be calling you a name or whatever. It's hard to realize, okay, this person's dealing with some other shit. You know what I mean?
And I'm not saying that I do that on a regular. Like, I don't do. It's not like that's my general conduct. It's just if I call like 3, 4, 5 times, you know what I mean, and I'm not getting anywhere. It's just like, okay, you're supposed to know this. I know more about this than you do. I'm telling you what the issue is, and you're not responding accordingly. Like, from my perspective, if you work for a company, you should know more about the business than I do as a customer. Is that fair to reason?
Yeah, that's fair, but like again, like we were talking about mental health issues, and now we're talking about customer service. Like,
no, well, I'm talking about how customer service issues affect my mental health, personally.
All right, yeah, word.
You know what I mean? I'm just saying, I'm putting it out there to these corporations, these big businesses. It's just like, you have a way to address an issue that you created, and you're not doing so. It's the same situation with this whole campaign. Raising money helps the situation, but changing the things that create the problem would actually help more.
Yeah, I feel what you're saying. Of course, but I don't think most people's mental health issues stem from customer service issues. Is what I'm saying.
They stem from social interaction. Like a greater percentage of it. It's just general social interaction. A lot of the issues have to do with social interaction. Like, social anxiety is a big issue in our day and age. But there's certain things that's almost they stem from a source that can't be traced. Like, they stem from a source that you cannot pinpoint. It's not a tangible thing as to why someone is depressed or why someone is anxious. They just feel that way. You know what I mean? It's just a feeling that happens that you don't know the origins of this feeling. It just stems. It just persists, and it just happens at almost a random occurrence. You don't really understand why it's happening. Some people go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, some people think it's biochemical. Some people believe it's emotional. Some people believe it's physical. It depends on the situation, right? It depends on the mentality. Like, there's times where, like, I myself am riding high, and then there's other times where it's just like, I don't want anything to do with the world. And you're right, I don't have an explanation for it other than the amount of time I've spent doing what I've done and the results that come thereafter. Like, the difference between actual and ideal psychologies is what creates a lot of problems. Because it's like the whole go to school, get a job, be successful. That's like, that doesn't always work as easily as they say.
Sorry. Yeah, like, expectations is the leading cause of disappointment. Like, that's if you don't expect anything from anyone or anything, you're not going to be disappointed in what the world gives you. But now there are fair expectations, and then there are unreasonable expectations. A lot of times we have unreasonable expectations about what individuals or institutions should or can do for us, and in turn we end up disappointed, depressed, upset with the situation that comes because it wasn't exactly as we pictured it.
Well put.
Yeah, I think, like, if we could lower our expectations of others, and all you can really do is try to live your life to a certain standard of efficacy, of respect, of honor, of discipline, all those things, and don't expect things from other people. Don't expect anything really.
Yeah, that's kind of hard with the whole. That's kind of hard. Like,
I'm not saying it's easy.
No, I didn't say that at all. I'm just saying, like, from the happenstance perspective, it's just, if it was, yeah, he is. That's why we've been trying to get him on here for a minute. Jones said you're a smart dude, but
Thanks,
yeah,
man.
it's
Thanks, Jones. I appreciate that.
like, I'm using my personal experience to try to. My personal experience is to try and, I guess, carve a path through these different issues and institutions that can actually facilitate an improvement in life overall. You know what I mean? That's like that's a general goal. Like, to have these people take accountability for their conduct and understand that, like, the way we treat each other affects the circumstances that we deal with as we progress. That's why, like, I like to have these kinds of conversations, because I have my perspective on life, and in talking to other people, I've learned that it's possible to see through another's eyes when you take the time, but a lot of people don't want to do that. You know what I mean? It's, I have to do this for me, and that's all that's happening, and for me.
It's hard, man. It's hard. It's hard to be empathetic. You know, it's easier to be apathetic, and it's easier to not care. You know, like, and I think a lot of people fall into the trap of realizing, well, if I don't care about anything, then nothing can hurt me. And yeah, that I understand why a lot of people turn that way, because the world is cold and you've been through certain experiences that shut you off from humanity. But you know, that's not the best way to go about life, and that's not the way to get fulfillment out of life and satisfaction. If you healthy relationships and having good relationships with people is, to me, is the key to happiness. Without people to share your time, to share your passions with, to share your art, to share whatever it is you want to share with, this experience would be very hollow and very meaningless. You know what I mean? But
I hear you.
The fact that we can build rapport and relationships with other people leads us to connection, and ultimately human connection, I think, is what we all strive for.
Yeah.
I want to comment on what Jones said earlier. He said, customer service is necessary. Unconditional human kindness is a choice. And I think that's a good point. You know, like, customer service people can only do so much on their end. They're doing a job, and they're told what to do.
Yeah,
you know
I get that. I get that. I'm not holding them to a standard higher than I'd hold myself, though.
But man, you're not working a job. You're an individual making a case. You're an individual making a case. And I'm not saying it's not a fair case or it's not right, but the people that are working the job on the other end of customer service, they're just doing what they're told to do. They can't step out of the bounds of what they're guided to do, or else they'll lose their job.
I understand that.
You can't expect to get someone like me caring about you through a customer service interaction. You know what I mean? Like, that's never going to happen.
No, you see, but that's the thing, and that's the problem, because the same issue you're trying not to create, you're creating. Like, for me, dealing with the amount of people I've dealt with in customer service, for the period of time I've had to deal with them, from the same entity, it is a little frustrating to know that they have specific guidelines. No, but here's the thing. They have specific guidelines they have to follow, and they're not following those guidelines. That's where my issue creates itself. When I know they're supposed to do A, B, and C, and they're not doing A or B. You know what I mean? And then I'm left with a problem. Case in point, my phone right now is still downloading files to a folder that I can't access. So I can't get the work off the phone that I need to get. This is after a year of talking to this company about the problem that I've had with their device. You know what I mean?
Phones, man. Like, what do you want me to say? Like, fuck these people. Who gives a fuck? Like, fuck these people, man. Phones, dog. Like,
I get it. There are simpler things. There are people, or there are more complicated things. There are people who are losing limbs, life and limb, in order to fight for freedoms. There are people who are. I don't have control over all of that shit. I have control over the services I receive, and that's one thing that I like to point out about the whole.
You have control. You have control over yourself. Like, you have somewhat of control over yourself, and that's it. You don't have control over the services you receive. You have a right. You have a right to what they said they would do. But man, again, it's not the individual customer service. You know, it's the company. You know what I'm saying?
I know it's the company. Yeah. But here's the thing, okay? like, I guess I'm missing the point. I'm not exactly or illustrating my point as effectively as I'd like to. If the general population were to assert themselves as effectively where it came, like, as they do when it comes to, if they were to assert themselves more effectively, I think the mental health crisis wouldn't be as complicated as it is. But because of the stigmas and the stereotypes and the complications, there are people who are unwilling to act because they don't want to be the first one to actually set or to be seen in that light. Personally, I don't care. Whatever light you shine on me, as long as you can see me, that's good. But there are times when problems present themselves because of activism.
I'm here, y'all. I'm here. I'm just checking my shit.
No, I'm reading. What Jones said. Of customer service, so it's the only shield that you can use to deflect confrontation. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, there's a lot in this world that happens because people let it. And I guess my association, my reasoning for addressing customer services, if one business can get so many people to conduct themselves in a manner that contradicts what they say they're able to do, then how do we know that is not a reciprocal cause of these mental health issues? Like, if you're forcing someone to do something that they don't believe themselves they should do, but have to do in order to keep their job, like, that would create a little bit of a problem for me.
Well, yeah, that's now we're talking about something different. Yeah, bro, that obviously that's fucked up, and that you could make a correlation to Nazism and how people were following Hitler, and then there was other people who didn't really believe in what he was doing, but they didn't stand up. Next thing you know, a whole country is crazy. Now, like, yeah, that's a fair assessment to say a company forcing individuals to act unethically or against their own moral judgment, that's gonna create a problem cognitively, a problem psychologically. So that is a good point, and I think that's a good point to make, man.
Oh, I have a few of them every now and again. You just gotta find the fertilizer in the feces. I can spew. Yeah. Manipulation comes to mind. Yeah, it does. And that's the thing. I don't know, like, I don't know for what it's worth. I don't know what it's worth, but, like, my conduct stems from...
Shout out Norm. Sorry.
Shout out Norm. Oh, man, ticky-tack in the place. Like, my conduct comes from, my past experiences. Like, I drive people where they have to go because I know what it's like to not have a ride. You know what I mean? I try to provide, like, the Terrell effect. I play people's music because, you know what I mean? There's to give them an outlet for different things, or give them an outlet for their expressions. You know what I mean? So, like, this right here is doing exactly what I'd like it to do. It's helping me, I guess, sharpen my perspective on life.
Word up, man. Yeah, word. Fuck, yeah, I would just say, like, getting back to, like, mental health, it's an everyday struggle for people that are dealing with these issues, and, so sometimes people aren't always gonna post on Facebook, oh, yo, I'm fucking having a mental health crisis right now, can you help me, and, I think to pay attention to the signs, and if you see someone, or not even, you don't even have to see someone, just
okay.
You don't even.
Hold on, let me interject. You know what? I'll talk about myself for a second again. I read this post, okay? I read this one post about this man who walked around and he greeted everybody he saw. And sometimes they looked at him funny, sometimes they scowled at him, sometimes they returned the greeting. But he did this as he was going with his spouse. And his spouse asked him why he did that. And he explained that he had a friend that he had lost, who said that in his suicide letter that if he had just had one person acknowledge him, he may not have done it. He felt like he was alone in the world. So, you know what I mean? That's part of the reason I'm wearing this funky hat right now. You know what I mean? That's part of the reason why I do things so outlandishly, because I want to take people take them out of their darkness. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of darkness in the world. Like, you see people with scowls on their face, and you see people like walking around with their heads down and slouched over. Those are physical signs that something's not going right. But, you know, our campaigns, like our holiday campaigns, work very well. So well to the effect that when we go to regular places, there are people who are like, hey, you're not in your holiday outfit. You know what I mean? This holiday's coming up, and they're reminding us. So it's like you bring upon yourself that, in some ways, you bring on yourself that which you deal with. But in other ways, people impress upon you things that are beyond your capacity. And it's a matter of figuring out which is what. I find, anyways.
Yeah, it's a serenity prayer, bro.
True. Maybe it's just I have a bad habit.
I'm just saying that's exactly what the serenity prayer is. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. That's what that's about.
Yeah, I say that a lot of the time. Oh, so often. I say that so often. Oh man, but it's true. Like if that one phrase or one prayer was taught in meditation, well, you don't know who believes in what nowadays, but I find that one phrasing, or that set of phrasing, can actually help alleviate a significant amount of stress. Because you yourself ask the question, what can I do? What am I able to do? What do I feel like doing?
Yeah, kinda, yeah.
Yeah. Just saying, greet everyone. Yes.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Yes, Lyndon Henderson. It's a spirit. Yes, it is a spiritual warfare too. They are among us. They are among us, and they fight dirty. Yeah, man. So, okay, like, what's your take on what do you think needs to be done to improve the mental health initiative? We'll talk there.
I think with any type of health, whether it's physical or mental, it has to start with the self, and it has to start with individuals taking responsibility for their own actions and their own accord. And it means it means exercising. It means reading. It means not just watching TV all day. It means if you are gonna watch some entertainment, maybe make it an educational series, something that can teach you something. Like taking responsibility for your own life, something that it's not hopeless. It's not a waste of time to try to get healthy. It starts with the individual.
What up,
and then obviously with community work, with helping people in your community, whether that's other people with mental health issues, or the homeless, or any type of volunteer work you can do, I think is good. I think that helps out a lot. And just trying to be someone that you can wake up in the morning and be proud of. If you can just do like one small thing a day that is productive and that helps you feel better about yourself internally, where you feel good about yourself. That's a huge step, Any
small thing, like a small goal, like smiling at a stranger, having a conversation with, a family member.
With a stranger, or with a stranger, or with anyone. Exactly.
Yeah, just,
Making little incremental improvements to your daily routine is a great way to start fucking getting back on the right track.
I know, like, it's hard for me to feel any way but happy when I'm in the pool. Like, there's something about swimming that just makes me feel good about life. I don't know if it's like the suspension of the stress, like the suspension of myself in the water, taking the stress off of my body or what. But I come out of that pool and I am happy, at least until I get to my house when I fall asleep. You know what I mean? But
no, that's cool, and I think everyone has a place like the pool for you,
Yeah.
Like the pool is your place of tranquility, of serenity, of whatever, of content, like being
contentment.
content.
Yeah, contentment.
And I think other people have a pool of their own, whether it's holding a paintbrush or holding a mic or reading or whatever it may be. I think everyone has their own pool of tranquility, no pun intended, and to find a comforting place where they can find themselves and relax, and they come out of that space feeling better and more positive about life. I think everyone has that, and I think people should be searching to find that place for themselves.
Good morning. Yes, it's true. It's very true, and when we take that time to find, like, it starts within the mindset, though. You have to visualize that perfect place for you, like, put it together wall by wall, piece by piece, and then, you'll be surprised how often you go to that place in your mind when you come to a point of stress or frustration or what have you. It's even before you get to that point, like before I get stressed, every morning I wake up, I make it a mark to meditate, because that allows me to flush out what I was dealing with and take on what's coming forth. And yeah, music is a nice cure. Zach Bury. Okay, so I got to take a minute to shout out Wilson Hahn Pluto in the chat room. You know what I mean? He's holding an event July 1st that I was talking about earlier. That July 1st event will be in Fort Erie. I will be performing with Zach Bury, who will be performing his own set, and Chronic Spirit as well. So, yeah, we are definitely going to be in the building. Oh, yeah, and that's speaking, learning, growing, being brave to accept yourselves, believe me, and not easy. I hated myself 7 years ago, lost most of my life, and I'm happy to say I embraced who I am and evolved to who I am today, and love myself now and stand up for what I believe in. That's right. You gotta stand up for yourself, and you gotta stand up for what you believe in, because sometimes, like I was on the Viz show a couple weeks ago, and I was asking these questions. It was like, there were a series of questions. It's like, if you were a fish, would you try to climb a tree? If you were a dog, would you try to swim? If you were a shark, would you try to walk on the land? Like, I'm asking these questions because everybody is their own type. Everybody has their own makeup. So for me to try and do something that isn't natural to my makeup doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? And a lot of people are fighting themselves to please other people when it comes to these situations. Are you rolling a blunt, my dude?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I wish. I'm just fucking filling my vape.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, so there's that. Yeah, man, come through. People underestimate the power. Music is very powerful. It is a very powerful thing. It can change perspectives. It can change lives. It can revolutionize whatever topic it's talking about. There's so much underestimated ability behind a musician that if we were to respect musicians as much as we respected lawyers and doctors, we'd probably have a better quality of music out here. And we have some good quality music out here, but we probably have a lot more to show for it. But because we're not preying on the sick, or, you know what I mean, telling people what to do, or, you know what I mean, try to take control over things, it's not as responded to or respected. I don't know. That was a serious way to re-enter the room, though. Okay, so talk to me. What's on your agenda? Oh, tomorrow. Tomorrow we got plans to head out to Monty's Gastro Pub. Got to promote a little bit of what's going on here. That's at 547 Ontario Road.
I'll go to my room.
Cover.
Sorry, I'm just gotta relocate here.
It's all good. It's all good. Please others for the wrong reasons. Oh man, there's some raw talent. There's some crazy talent out here. You're damn right. You're damn right, Jones. There's some crazy talent out here. We just gotta. We have a mind. We have an untapped mind of talent out here. We just have to continue to support those who are doing what they're doing, and I think the artists will start coming out of the woodworks. Like, I firmly believe Niagara can be a hotspot for entertainment. It's just a matter of working through the motion, or going through the motions to get it as notarized as Toronto, let's say. All right. So yeah, we got a couple tracks on DistroKid, on Spotify, on Google Play. Check out, look up The Block of Just Zone on Google Play. Download our tracks, yo. Download our tracks. We got some heat. We just did this track yesterday. I mean, if we could talk about music for a minute, what song can change? Like, what artist can change your mood?
Sorry.
It's all good. Like, okay, like, for me, like, if I'm, like, whatever I'm doing, if, like, some Bob Marley comes on, like, my mood just changes for some reason. I just mellow out instantly. You know what I mean? So what song or what artist can change your mood?
Me? What artist can change my mood?
Yeah.
Man, every artist I listen to changes my mood. You know what I mean?
Okay.
If the music I was listening to didn't have an impact on me emotionally, I probably wouldn't listen to it. You know?
Okay.
So yeah, like if I wanna, like, so like with hip hop, you know, there's everything from introspective type rapping, like Idea and Atmosphere and other. There's a lot of artists like that, and Mr. Key, Ed Scissor from the UK, and then if I wanna like listen to some swaggy shit, I'll put on some Devil Gang, you know, like I just got when I'm in, usually I'll pick a music. The music I'm listening to is determined by the mood that I'm already in, you know.
Okay.
It's kind of like an amplification system to the mood that I'm in.
Okay. That makes sense. Like, different scenarios, like, when I'm driving, I like to listen to something more upbeat, more high octane, but when I'm at home, like, or when I'm just winding down, you know what I mean, I can listen to some jazz or some, you know what I mean, blues, and I'll be primo.
Love jazz.
Yeah, man. Seek to Be.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, that track I've been playing all week. I just recorded this track with Zach Murray, and it's called Seek to Be. We're gonna be performing it on July 1st. I'm still rehearsing it. I got my whole set that I gotta rehearse. Yeah, Block and Pluto Han faces one boss Aussie and Mo Technique. Oh, D Block. Okay. Alright, bam. Shout out Reg Jury. Reg Jury just said something under Zach Murray. Even the timeline's starting to rhyme. Prime. Excellent. So, what do you think about this CD, the Enlit CD? Have you had a chance to hear it?
No, I haven't heard it.
Oh, okay. I recommend it. It's a
Who
good.
is it?
The N-Lit CD.
So I misheard you, bro. Yeah, I played that, of course.
Okay.
I love that shit.
Okay. Yeah, you know, just doing a little bit of promo, you know. You know how it is.
Yeah. You can take the lighthouse.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Just, just, I can't wait to see him perform that, yo. Oh, Lee.
Yeah, it'll be fire.
Oh, you know what? Let's see if we can arrange that. Let's see if we can arrange that. Oh, man. So, yeah. What else? What's going on here? We got a mess of tickets here. I got a contest that I got contests that I gotta complete. I got artists that I gotta reach out to. Okay. Candid conversations. So, I'm gonna flip the script. What questions? Do you have any questions for me? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Let me think.
Okay.
So all right. Well, we'll just bring it back to music. What are like your biggest musical influences? Who, like, when you were growing up as a young person, what inspired you to want to start making your own music and being involved in the hip hop community?
Okay. That's a good question. I was, to tell you the honest truth, what inspired me musically, it didn't start off as hip hop. It started off more as reggae and R&B, because hip hop in our house was seen as too aggressive. So, we listened to, my dad would listen to mans like Sanchez and Barris Hammond and Richie Spice, Bob Marley. So, you know what I mean? I grew up with a smoother tone than what you hear me, how you hear me rap. But then, I literally made mixtapes when they were on tape. So I didn't, it was no one particular person. It was just, how can you make this noise and how can it attract me so? How can it make me do this dance? You know what I mean? How it just takes control over me sometimes, and I want to have that power to be able to make people happy or make people think or make people do, you know what I mean? Just because they hear what I'm producing. So, that was what it was. And my grandfather, he owned a club. He used to own a club, and they would put on a Caribbean show in St. Catharines. They call it folk arts. So from I was young, I was always involved in the, you know what I mean, the scene kind of thing. So to see how many people would come out to that, and the flamethrowers and the flame, what do you call them? Fire breathers and limbo dancers and all of that stuff. I was like, I want to be a part of something like this. So fast forward a couple of years, you know what I mean? I ended up being mocked for trying to sing. So I started listening to hip hop, in my teenage years. So that's when I got into, the West Side Connection and, Tupac and Biggie, you know what I mean? Mace, Jay-Z, you know what I mean? All of them.
How old were you?
Huh?
How old were you when you started switching to hip hop?
Oh man, I was 14, 15, listening to multiple exhibits multiply and flesh of my flesh, blood of my blood, or it's dark and hell is hot. You know what I mean? DMX. That was who I listened to a lot of DMX growing up. A lot of X and the West Side Connection. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, that's a little bit of me and the history of my music. I started rapping because I went to a party and I went to a party with some coworkers, And then the next day at work, I had a bunch of people coming up to me, like, praising me for my rapping. And I was just like, what are you talking about? Like, yeah, you were at that party yesterday and you were rapping. I was just like, okay. So then I started looking into it and I, like, you know, started developing my craft more instead of just doing it for fun. Yes, I will be performing July 27th in St. Catherine. No, I won't be performing. I'll be in the building. Private name, private number will be performing. But yeah. So, there's that. Okay. I had another question. But I can't remember what it is now. Damn. Okay, what's your opinion on the new state of rap? On the current state of, like, rap? Hip-hop? Current state of the industry, so to speak.
I don't know, man. I don't really concern myself with the industry too much. I don't really give a fuck, but like, I think the state of hip hop overall to me is fine. Like, there's great music being made all over the world, and Levi, stop. There's really great music being made, all hip hop music being made all over the world, and I don't think there's any concerns with the talent level or the stylistic approach of hip hop artists these days. There's a lot of good music being made. I don't concern myself with the industry. I don't care about it.
I don't. You know what? I don't either. I was just asking because it seems to be the thing to do. Okay, now.
If you mean like, what do I think about mumble rap? Like, I don't really like it. I don't fuck with it. But like, there was music being made when I was growing up that other people said was silly and was whack or was stupid, and it just there's gonna be new music coming out with each generation that passes. There'll be new styles and new shit that comes out. It just there's still great music being made all over the world, and if all you have to do is not listen to that other music, like,
yeah,
people want to sit and complain about mumble rap all day, but literally all you have to do is listen to something else. It's not like a big deal, you know.
Well put. Again, well put. Oh man. So yeah, okay. So let's switch from music a minute, and let's talk about the government. The government. It's private now. Let's talk. Now, like, they seem to have this quote unquote benefit system to assist with those experiencing physical or mental hardships or complications. Severe physical or mental complications. They call this program the Ontario Disability Support Program, and personally, I still think it needs some help before it can be considered a support program. What are your views on this system?
I wouldn't like worry about labels so much. Like, is it a support system? Is it not? That's neither here nor there. But there's definitely it definitely needs to be improved upon. There needs to be needs to be better systems in place to help those with mental or physical disabilities to be able to live. Like, if I was living by myself, I wouldn't be able to survive. I literally have to get a subsidy on rent, and that can take as long as 5 years to 10 years to get a subsidy on rent, and you still, like, you have less than $500 a month to fucking live. I mean, that's food, gas, fucking, if you want to take your kids to the fucking movies or some shit, like, that's money out that, like, you have no money to survive on. And I constantly hear people saying, oh, yeah, you're getting free money. Yeah, I guess technically the money's free, but if we were healthy individuals, if we didn't have... People think that mad people out there are just fucking fucking the system and taking money off the system, but it's like, man, if we could work a 9 to 5 steady and be okay, I'm sure everyone would, because you would make so much more money. You would be way better off. But the reality is that certain individuals cannot work 9 to 5 straight 40-hour-a-week jobs. They just can't do it.
Yeah, it's true.
And yeah, it's tough, man. It's really rough. I don't know what the answer is. I'm happy that there is a system in place in Canada. I'm happy that me and my mom aren't on the streets. I'm really happy about that. That doesn't mean that the system's perfect, and obviously there needs to be a lot of improvements to ensure the welfare and safety and security of all individuals on the system, on that program, and yeah. So hopefully they can work it out. I mean, Doug Ford isn't helping the situation. a lot of people aren't helping the situation, and yeah, it's a shame, really. You know, people think. Sorry, I'm just reading the comments.
Yeah, so am I. So am I. But yeah, no, and that's the thing. Like, we're built to survive. So whatever means you have to use to survive, you know what I mean? You got to survive. I agree. There are systems in this country that need to be changed. I how many years ago? How many years ago was it now? Like 3 or 4 years ago, wrote in. No, it was more than that. A few years ago, I wrote in to the minister of community and social services, and I wrote a whole list of things, and I said, these are what I have to go through and address. How does your system fix this? How will your system fix this? Still waiting for an answer. So, you know what I mean? It takes advocacy. I believe, like, it depends on like who's working on your behalf too. Like, you have to have a good person working on.
I mean, we could just go right to the fucking crux of it, which is money. Some people will get this, some people won't. But money doesn't even exist. It's numbers on a screen. It's numbers on a screen, and the people at the top are hoarding wealth, and they don't care about poor people. They want poor people dead. So the system is corrupt to begin with. So it's not a surprise that the systems connected to the mega system are broken. They're meant to be broken. They're put in this way for a reason. And it's not some like circumstantial shit. It's not like, oh, they just stumbled upon this way and this is what is going on. Like, no, this is all very calculated, very they understand what they're doing, you know what I mean? It's not a fucking surprise. It's not really a mystery, you know what I mean?
It's not a mystery. The only mystery to me is why more people don't see it and speak up about it. It's like the sheep outnumber the wolves, and it's like they're fine doing bad. Yeah, they're just doing bad with it.
That was a terrible seed pun, but
they're just doing bad. But no, for real though.
What David Jones just said, money is an idea, is factual. It's a construct made by man to control the world. You know, that's what money is.
Yep.
And yeah, you know, if you know about fiat money and the Federal Reserve and how money is handled, you have a better understanding of why the system is the way it is.
Yeah. What's up, Nicola? Jones is dropping some gems. Jones is dropping some gems in here for real though. But yeah, it's not even something like everybody would have to do something about it for it to change, and like not enough people even know about it to change anything.
Yeah, there's a responsibility that comes with being informed, and a lot of people don't want that responsibility. It's scary. It can be overwhelming to think, oh, I have all this information about what's wrong with the world. Okay, now how do I apply this information to effectively change the things that the barriers that are in the way to well, what's up?
No, Stoddy's talking about us not wanting him on this.
Word. Then don't come on it.
Okay, but yeah, you were saying?
I forget.
Oh man. It was you were talking about the money, the responsibility to be informed.
No, it's what I'm saying is when you become informed about society, about the systems in control, you then have a responsibility as an individual to go out and affect change in your community. And there's a couple reasons why that's scary. One is you can't. It's almost impossible to affect change individually without a platform. If you don't have a platform big enough to reach enough people, you're not going to be able to change shit. So, at the grassroots level, putting in a lot of work to gather, to build a community of people large enough to affect change on a global scale or even on a nationwide scale, it's a lot of work, and it's fucking. It's a lot. Yeah, fuck you, Zach. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
You're muted. You're muted. It's a lot of work.
Am I muted?
Now you're not. I can hear you now.
Okay, yeah. It's just man. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and it's scary. It's overwhelming, and it's a lot to put on an individual. I don't know. It's tough, man. It's made so that the system is designed so that an individual can't really make progress in a grand sense, in a sense of changing the world. Look at the individuals who did try to change the world. Look at Martin Luther King Jr.
Dead.
Look at JFK.
Dead.
Look at Aaron Schwartz. All
Dead.
these individuals that tried to make a difference, and they're dead. They got murdered.
Dead.
That shit is made as a deterrent to deter people from fucking trying to make social change, because you'll literally get murdered if you get a big enough platform. They will take you out.
Yep. That's why I gotta stay underground. Y'all can hate on the limited number of views, but I'll still be alive for another show.
Look at the progress. Look at the progress society made. In the midst of that chaos, in the midst of the murders and the things that happened, we have come a long way from where we were because of individuals like Martin Luther King Jr. and such. All these individuals that put their life on the line to change the world for the better, and the world is a better place because of those individuals. Their efforts were not in vain.
I could say the dream once held is currently a reality to a degree.
For sure, to a degree, yeah, it is, and that's a huge step, Oh yeah, I know about Tesla, bro.
Yeah, Tesla was robbed by Edison.
Those people that I should have mentioned. I apologize for not mentioning him.
Yeah. No, that's true, man. That's true. All right, we're gonna run an extra, another 5 minutes, but yeah, that's the thing, and I firmly agree with you. But I guess in the idea of Spartacus, someone has to be willing to step up to take the reins when that person falls. People that are not significant enough to start moving and change for the numbers, but in numbers and on a large scale. Change is totally doable with a group of individuals working together. Yeah, it's true. Excuse me. Ooh. It's true. A small group of individuals can affect a fair amount of change, and even go so far as to affect another group to continue said change. But the same way, I'm sure there's Nazis in Germany. There's still a Nazi regime in Germany. I'm sure there's a Martin Luther King Jr. movement in the States that's still trying to uphold the integrity of their teachings. You know what I mean? I often make the joke that
for sure.
I often make the joke that Hitler would be pleased with Brock Lesnar. Because he's the air, you know what I mean? He defines what he was looking for. I'm not trying to create a racist, like, or anything racist towards him. I'm just saying, like, from the general base of his design or his intentions. You know what I mean? So, like, there are things coming to fruition that were once just a thought.
For sure, man. Yeah. It starts with the individual, and then it can grow.
Yeah.
It's up to all individuals to do the self work, man. You got to work on yourself.
Yeah, exactly. You got to put in the effort to get the results. We are on Candid Conversations. We have been talking to Just Zone. Man, like, these are the things that I'm trying to call to light that y'all could be listening to and learning from. Change is the only constant in this life. Oh yeah. Wow. But the changes need to be positive and beneficial for the people and greater good. The intentions of those in power are not to see these people excel and succeed. It's ass backwards and just messed up. Oh, I'm telling you, chillin' G, what's poppin', Kyle? Yeah, man, we just having a conversation right here about life and what's going on. So, like, what made you you? What do you think makes you who you are today?
I mean, obviously, my life experiences have molded me into the person that I am. I mean, I don't have enough time right now to fucking talk about all my life experiences, or like the main ones. It's like, you know, that's a big story. But yeah, you know, just growing up the way I grew up, you know, single parent household, no dad around, then not a lot of family. Well, no family. Eventually, when I was 7, I lost all my family for like stupid reasons, and then foster care and fucking yeah. Hip hop was a huge part of me growing up, like a huge part of my life growing up, and is a huge reason why I'm the person I am today. Alongside the moral teachings of my mother that taught me, you know, what I know today, basically. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, I heard that track. I heard the track "Mom" still. Yeah. So that's a big tune still. You know what I mean? It's deep. You know what I mean? It actually shone a light that I didn't really see. So yeah, man. You gotta big up yourself for that kind of thing. Being able to put yourself out there like that, not a lot of people would. So you know what I mean? That you should feel like a bigger person for.
Thanks, man. You know, I'm just trying to be honest and shit. You know?
Yeah, man. That's what it is. All right, so.
Me and Kyle Green got a project coming out called Foster Brothers. We don't have a date and shit, but shit's gonna be crazy dope. My boy Kyle is an insane MC, and fucking I'm super excited to work on this shit. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be really dope shit. So be on the lookout for that.
Yeah.
Go check out Strangle the Pig. On SoundCloud by Smile, SMYLE. That shit's crazy. That's my boy's first single. He killed it. And yeah, man.
All right. We got June 27th at Monty's Gastro Pub. That's going to be an ASI event where we will be in the building. Yes. Then we got July 1st happening at Big Texas in Fort Erie. We got July 27th at the Detour in St. Catharines. And then we have August 3rd in Hamilton at Sam's Tavern. I will either be performing or in the building making an appearance. You know what it is. This is Me Till Canada Day. Yeehaw. Foster Brothers, it's the happening. Yes, of course, yo. Man, you gotta shout out the back of the Harper Cypher as well. Like, he killed that one. We killed that one too.
Yeah, no, man, everything Kyle's done has been dope as fuck. You can check out the Back in the Hamper cipher on SoundCloud, my SoundCloud. That's Juxtazone with a capital J and capital Z on SoundCloud. Yeah, that shit's dope, man. Fucking everything he's done is crazy. Like he's too good, you know?
Yeah, man, I see it. All right. So, yeah, man, we've been shooting the breeze. This has been Candid Conversations. I'd like to thank y'all for tuning in. Some of you were here for like the whole hour, you know what I mean? I'd like to shout out some appreciation for that. Those of you who are contributing to the conversation, you know what I mean? Shout yourself out, you know what I mean? Shout outs, Reg Jury, Kyle Green, David Jones, you know what I mean? Who else do we have in here? Nicola, you know what I mean? Stoddy P. Who else? Who else is in here? You know what I mean? Whoever else. Oh, Norm was in here. You know what I mean? Got to shout them all out. But either way, we about to be out of this thing. Okay. No, I think we're going into overtime, ladies and gentlemen. I think we're going into overtime. Yeah, I don't know. We might be going into overtime. If he adds, then we're going into overtime. If he doesn't, then we're not. We might have Stoddy P in here just now. But Facebook likes to mess with me right now. I don't like the way Facebook likes to mess with me. It's just saying adding, and it's not adding anything. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to thank Alexander Supertramp for coming through, aka Just Zone. You know what I mean? Gotta shout out all the listeners. There's Stoddy P again. Let's see if he's in there. Oh, Tilly just joined the room. Alright, it's not working. So we just gotta close it out. But tune in this Saturday on Spreaker.com/TheTyrellEffect. That's the Tyrell Effect on Spreaker.com. And then after that, it will be Tough Talks with Tilly and the Block. You've been listening to Candid Conversations, Episode 3 with Just Zone. Bless up. Block out.